is uncompromised, body parts named, policed, and sexualized. They say it's the sway of my belvedere, the clumsiness of my breast, the fullness of my lips, and the arch of my back. Objectified by the media, my nudity is plastered on music videos and marketed in raunchy videos all over the internet. I am just an experiment. Grope me in public. Bring me to my knees because somehow my history conditioned me to be a sex slave, and the rape culture is nothing but a myth. My tinted shade is salaciously appreciated with sexist comments but not pursued. I'm a symbol of trauma and degradation. I wear the shroud of shame that Sarah Batman wore when she was being paraded in the freak shows in London and Paris. Archetypes of my history are plastered on the walls of laboratory as a legacy of colonialism and imprinted in my consciousness. I'm the angry black woman, waving the blood-stained banner, cussing out at everyone like the world owes me something. The world owes me nothing. Listen, too much, they say, too much. Caroline, that dress doesn't flatter your body size. You need a few lashes of lie on your scalp. See, I can't control the way my thighs rub when I walk, or the way my booty shakes when I walk. Anecdotes of my femininity leave shards of my identity dripping over my consciousness, affecting the way that I see myself and you in the hegemonic depictions of my identity as an African woman. I'm not a product to be fetishized or a part of the body-shaming brood in twisted society's hypersexualization of the African woman. I wear this body, this hair with pride. Then the second poem. I'm going to do love. I'll wait for you. Your love is king. Presence is printed on my consciousness. Absence increases the temperature of my ardor for you. I'll hijack time just to stargaze in the future's lawn with you. Get lost in the coruscation of your smile. I imagine how beautiful it is. I'll say images of you, me, us, in the fine line between my dreams and daytime fantasies. You are worth waiting for. I'll wait for you, like the intermission in Indian movies, like a calcimina waiting for paint to dry, like an excited dog waiting to be taken out for a walk in the park. I'll wait for you, like the lamppost seated next to my bed. I'll wait for you, like the way Florentino waited for Famina in the book Love in the Time of Cholera. Draw you a love heart on the window pane and hope that the rain will convey this message to your heart. For a little while, I'll wait for you. I'll wait for you until you're tired of being played by duplicates of me, until every kiss starts to taste like blood in your mouth, until every woman starts looking like a suspect. I'll wait for you until you're hurt and tired, until maturity becomes more than a face screen and the man in you starts screaming my name. You'll find me in the rubble of forgotten dreams and daytime fantasies. Pieces of me will come alive in every art piece, in every song. You'll see me and reality glimmering on your left finger, and then you'll understand why it never worked out with anyone else. I'll wait for you. Thank you.
You as a spare part. But we are wanting. You speak the language of black and white, causing our people to fight, preaching the gospel according to physical melanin and Ezekiel, the knowledge of the intrinsic. What matters is peace, love, and harmony, not the judgment based on physical color, but see, we are watching. You stuck in your cosmopolitan states, living without roots. See, people without roots are just like soldiers in the front line, without beats, without beats, without beats, without beats, without beats. Yeah. I wanted to do one more piece, which was about tech, but since poetry did some love, I just didn't know that I wasn't filled in, so I figured probably people need love at this time. So this is a piece about love. It's called The Yard's Experience. Enjoy. Chichira shikamena kaswa mosanene Mushimbe shiki He says, meet my ex after maximum execution, exploitation, and finally excommunication. So women should be dumping men, now men doing the reverse. Unfortunately, now the verse does so. Now I guess you're enjoying the stanza of verse, but what good is left to verse apart from quoted love to your deadly dark hearts? The verses should refer to his black hurts. Now this kind of situation hot, so hot yet the healing is not a must. When things get to the worst, we lose our heads, burst into tears, getting rid of the fears, sit like drink the street seas of tears. Now break free or lose, receive the woes and woes from those high and fools, accept judgment from fools, claiming to utilize the intellect and judicial tools to judge your feelings and emotions. So they never been the true nigga to them in your eyes to be the so-called coaching that expect you to visualize with your eyes. Do you ever realize that all they said to you is just a bunch of lies while searching for the precious in you? Unfortunately, they know very well where your treasure lies. Over there, in your minds. Now you might think that the skeletons are hidden in the wardrobes, forgetting that bears have seen millions of them, mine, yours, and those belonging to them. And if there's anything for these reflective objects to feel or see, it's shame. Damn. What's happening on Cleveland? Peace in Africa.
Thank you, Brother Steve, for blessing us with those pieces. We send you positive vibrations where you are.
And thanks to for hosting the event, and thanks to Craft Mind for having me back on this. I'm glad that I came through and supported and donated some of my works to this cause. And peace.
Alright, peace. Alright, let's give it up for Brother Steve. Within the same energy, I earlier mentioned
conditioned to forget that. And so we think we're here by our own design and our own default, and we cut our sources to know that we are actually responsible for a certain representation that was handed down to us that we must honor and move forward with so that we can tap into the infinite blessings that we want to collect to the works that were put out in the universe. And that being said, I wanted to, they told me to talk about, art, our culture, and how that foundation, is able to become stronger from all of us representing a thought or an idea that is really rooted in who we are. Because I think that we have a huge art industry in Uganda in various sectors. Matter of fact, When you talk about the word industry, it's all art. From farming to the visual artist, to the scientist, it's all art. And we've been marginalized to not even think of that as such. And so through our career paths, we've divided ourselves. Now where there's division, there can never be progression for a community to rise. And so when you understand that you come from a community that's divided due to what I like to term as the colonial conditioning, because they call it education, but it's actually a formula of conditioning to deter you from your greatness by creating a service that serves one dimension and not the entire you as a human being or as an African. When we talk about Africa and art, this is the Mecca of art. This is where the colonialists took pieces from to put in their museums. That later they had us paying them to see our own art that they took from the continent. And when you don't tie yourself artistically to that kind of history, you're also what I term as a hanging creative who has no foundation and root to be able to put something powerful forward. Now, just because we create for the commercial viability of gaining income, it does not necessarily mean that we are advancing. Because me as a successful individual, my advancement does not depend on how much currency raised. It depends on how connected I am to the source. When I know where my source is, it's the sheer understanding that regardless of how currency is maneuvered and translated, I always know where to draw from when I'm depleted. So here in Uganda, when we talk about currencies, a lot of people just think of monetary gain or paper. But the universe is full of multiple currencies. Our ancestral expression of currency did not start with paper. But because we're living in a time where you've grown in a generation where you go to a bank and bank, you know, you've totally been disconnected to the idea that there's multiple levels of conversations or currencies that you need to tap into so you can liberate you, your village, your community, your people, and those you stand for. I'm a hip-hop practitioner. You know, I'm what they call an indigenous hip-hop practitioner. I don't think you've ever heard of that career in anyone's occupation anywhere in this country. Okay? But that's the gift. I'm paid today to do that. And I speak in universities and I travel in different places and communities invite me to share how to translate this hip-hop energy into an indigenous context that's authentic, that in turn develops new knowledges of relating to young people in this day and time, and also merging them with elders. Why am I giving these examples? Every artist who's in this building, you are not alone. You represent a community, you come from a certain space, you're connected to a certain collective. You know, Craftmind is a collective desiring to be a collective of powerful young creatives who can influence and change the paradigm in Uganda. That's what this is about. And so I want to emphasize and affirm your participation in what leads you here. How many people know why they came here? Put your hands up if you know why you came here. So you see, we have our brothers and sisters who don't know why they came here. Now, the other thing I want to say, this is something I want to pose to you. For you who came here, I want you to think this question in your mind while I continue to speak. Why is it that you deserve to be here? What are you doing in your life that makes you worthy of smiling, shaking a hand, looking at a face in this space today, in this chosen time? And for my people who didn't put their hands up, I would also like to put a question in your space. Why is it that you're here but you don't know? They're very important questions if you give them attention. The reason I say that, when you leave your life by design on purpose, you start to understand the flow of the things that happen. And you start to talk, to turn yourself into a communicator whose currency starts to be beyond just the physicality of the paper we exchange. And when we don't understand those kind of questions, it's hard for us to talk advancement and progress and really meet it at the core of its foundation. So, you know, with the visual artists that are in the building, I'm a part of your system. I'm an artist. I'm a creative all around. You know, just because I'm not doing the brush stroke, you know, I verbally do my brush strokes like this, you know, I make the words go like zigzags, you know, and that alone to me, you know, is something that allows me to relate to each individual who says I'm a creative, I'm an artist. Because I say the image when I say the word and you create the image. So complementary, I need you to also be a part of my process to manifest that which I envision in a visualized space. But why am I saying that? I want to lock this into something that's very powerful that all of us here have today, and we did not pay for it. Pay close attention. Put your hand up if you think you're gifted. Now, I want you to put your hand up if you paid for your gift. If you paid for it. Yeah, I want you to put your hand up. So look at how all of us got something that we didn't have to pay for. There's something I'm taking home here because I feel like every time we're dealing with Africa, currency restricts our progress. Systems designed by currency have made it impossible for the creative to push their forces forward because they have made it for you to think that because of currency you're marginalized. Now, if this whole community didn't pay for a gift, but when I asked that it had a gift, everybody had what? How much power is that? And the question is, what conversation am I having for my gift space to understand my influence and impact before I talk currency? Because the other thing I would attest to is that when I understand that I did not pay for my gift, there's a responsibility in that. And sometimes as artists and creatives, we do not look at the responsibility, we just focus on success. We just want to be successful, we just want to, make that money, buy a house, get married, and use that as a point of validation that we've become somebody. But you could achieve all of that and still feel like you're nobody because there's something you did not honor. And that's the responsibility of your gift. So part of my sharing in the speech, I knew that I was going to be talking to a bunch of gifted people. And I knew that some of the things that I explore through my community transformative works is this internalized self-potential that is hidden under the layers of colonialism to deter us as Africans to design our own value forward. See, I'm not part of any capitalist mind frames. I always tell people I'm a socialist. My idea revolves around my community. And as long as I'm growing and I'm feeding and I'm building and I'm connecting, every idea I push, whether it's going to be a song, whether it's going to be a gear, or a piece of clothing line, whatever I do has to have my community in mind. And why is that? That's because when you start to realize that you got this gift for free and you want to honor the responsibility within the gift, you start to know that you are not alone and you are responsible for some things around you that need to be held accountable via your progression as a gifted person. So as gifted people who got our gifts for free, are we aware of our responsibilities with the gifts? That's another question. Are we aware? And if so, we are aware. Are we following the patterns in which we are progressing? Can we say, I'm an artist, I'm thriving, and I'm living. Can we say that? Can you say that when you do your work? Can you say, when I'm done painting, I just feel very liberated. I'm ready to go out in the universe and just exude this energy so they can receive me, because this is just me and I'm just being, but I'm within my responsibility space. And if you cannot do so, I implore you to start journeying under that conversation. Because for us to be powerful, for us to use the influence, see, what I love the gift is that naturally it curates the influence of those who will gravitate to you. When we got into hip-hop culture, they thought it was American. When we translated it in the indigenous languages, they were like, they don't sing in Luzungu, so no one will listen to them. This is about 18 years ago. Okay? But today, regardless of how the industry is structured, the orators of the land continue to surface and manifest and grow. What do they become? They become the voices of the people. They become the anchor of the messages. You know, it's funny enough that even within our political space today, the arts are reigning supreme as communicators to lure people to engage in listening to some agendas. Unfortunately, a lot of artists don't understand their impact in that space. In turn, they cannot unify or bring people together to literally build this nation to become the nation we want it to be. And that's why I walk with a big question today. Are the artists, the creatives, the tribe I'm a part of aware of the impact we could make when we all display our responsibilities on our quest to become successful individuals? Are we aware? Can we do that? Can we embody the responsibility of reclaiming? I tell people, it starts when I exit my gate. I have to be a part of that community and understand it. That alone gives me an understanding to know my responsibility. When they look or see me on TV and I say, wow, we enjoyed this, we enjoyed that. And I'm directly connected to a conversation of saying that it represents you, it stands with you, what's your idea? And also when I get a little capital, I put it back in the community around me. You know, this kind of nurturing, this kind of observing and being, you know, in a acute mind that your gift to grow and to thrive will always be tied to a responsibility that's ancestral is what's powerful about what you're doing. If you don't honor your ancestors, if you don't stand on their shoulders to exude the knowledge and the wisdom, you know, I always ask people, whose eyes are you carrying? Are they yours? I mean, look at your hands. Everyone look at your hands. Where did you get them from? Whose hands are those? You know, you think about your eyes, you think about your hands, you think about your feet, and you cannot have afforded them anywhere, but they were given to you through a process. You must honor and understand that there's a force with you to be able to pay attention so you could utilize it for your advancement. People here in Uganda laugh at me because when you greet me, I speak in the language or context of the ancestors. I know the power of God. I claim the blessings of my ancestors because biblically it tells me to do so within my understanding of my faith. So usually when you talk about the ancestral connection and blessing, people want you to shun away from that blessing to collect it. You don't do that. You know, how dare? You know? Yet, in honoring those voices, there comes the inspiration. A lot of the artists here you would know. Sometimes when you look at your art, you can say, man, I'm probably not the first one in my family to be able to be this good at this gift. And just running that thought allows you to know, who is that did it? Grandpa or grandma, tell me more about that person. You know, because the spirit that literally continue to connect us to our DNA, continue to manifest the design greatness that comes within the lineage. And we cannot deter from that. So as I'm closing up, I want to encourage you as gifted people, because we agreed on that, we all are gifted. I want to encourage you as gifted people to do one thing, and that's to honor the gift. Because I understand through honoring the gift, a lot will be availed, and your journeys will open to infinite realms of service while you're here. But you will always be excited about the service space, regardless of its challenges, because you honored the gift. And the other thing I know about the gift, when it's honored, then the idea to be poor and talk about poverty will never be a part of your dialogue. Because the gifts avails you the opportunity to always know that there's more. And that you are the master of that design to create that which is rendered to you. When we claim that level of power in our creative space, we will not only power ourselves, but our community will be filled with powerful creatives who honor the land, who respect the ancestors, and who choose to power what I like to term liberating education. Well, see, we've been educated, but are we liberated? I don't know about you, but being born here and then growing up in Canada, you know what I found out? I don't even feel good sending my kids to schools here. Not because we don't have an education system, but because of the idea that what they feed us kind of counters the true spirit of the land where we come from. And how is my generation or my young kids going to grow up fully powered by disconnection narratives? So on that quest to reconnect with the continent, to be a proud son of the soil, I have honored the ancestors, I have honored the power of the gift, and all the blessings that I share here today, for you to be a blessing to me and for me to be a blessing to you, are nowhere accessible if that journey was not accepted. I always look and remind myself that if I was still in Canada, would I have a blessing to speak to a lot of beautiful, faces like this? But the fact that I listen as I'm going home and I have to build and I have to stay connected, I have to stay rooted, it avails me every day a powerful, vibrant channel to be reminded of what kind of greatness I'm a part of. So thank you for giving me the chance to be a part of your greatness today, a part of your vision today, a part of that which is yet to come that we don't know. But the fact that we've all been here and we acknowledge that we are gifted people, let nobody make you feel some way. You are gifted for a reason. Please use your gift to uplift and build your community. Peace and love.
Speaking of gifts, how is the man so gifted like this about a day without, blessing us with a gift? 2 minutes, 1 second gift. Come on.
What are you talking about?
But maybe he'll, bless us towards the end. So thank you very much, Babaluku, for blessing us with the presence, with your words. One thing that I got out of his speech was the question that he posed of what are you doing right or wrong, that makes you deserving to be alive right now. Imagine how many people are dying of COVID. In the US, the statistics, they have 70,000 who get sick and about between 18 to 20,000, I think, who die. In Uganda, I'm not so sure about the statistics, but within that context, just imagine you are not a part of the 70,000 statistics or the 20,000, who left, but you're still alive, right? So, what is it that you're doing right in your life that makes you deserving to be alive today? Think about it. Moving on. So we're going to have a panel of other, gifted people in, a spectrum of different things. And allow me to invite, again, just like earlier before, this panel is going to be joined by people physically here and those online who are a bit far away, but for those who committed their time and gifts, to make sure that they are part
already introduced, my name is Laura. I'm one of the co-founders of Startup Africa, and Startup Africa supports students and early-stage startups to start innovative and scalable businesses that can improve lives. And I'm personally also super excited about innovation and how we can even use innovation in our daily lives. And I think that also comes back to art. I had a really interesting conversation also with Andrew. How can we use more art in our daily lives? So I'm very happy to be here on this panel today. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Laura. I guess I'll start to my left, Mr. Okero.
Right, good afternoon, and it's such a wonderful joy and pleasure to be here and to be with all of you in this particular space. My name is Robert Bob Okello. Depending on where you're from, you'll either say Okello or Okello. But either way, you'll make my ancestors very proud. Right, so I work with my colleague over here, James, and we work with Marifa Sasa Limited, where I serve as a team lead. Now, Marifa Sasa, for those of you who are gifted in the beautiful language of Swahili, you'd understand that Marifa means knowledge, and Sasa means now. So Marifa Sasa, in a sense, we're talking about the sense of urgency that we need to help our people have access to knowledge, okay, in whatever space. Though we add a bit of a technological spice to it, and so we leverage technological innovations to democratize access to these life-changing learning opportunities where they can acquire knowledge. That was powerful.
Yes, my name is Trinity, and I'm so blessed to be here. And I'm here to represent Era 92, a social enterprise that trains and employs young adults in design, arts, and technology. So basically, I grew up in one of the worst slums in Kampala, and at the age of 13, I was given an opportunity to get a computer. So that computer really changed my life. I trained myself in designing, development, and then I was one of the best graphic designers at the age of 18. So I got a job to jump out of the slums, and my life transformed in 1 year. So I realized that for me, for my life to change wasn't about anything or age. It was about the skills and the opportunities that I got. So I decided to create a company that creates the same opportunities for young adults in the slums. So I did. Era 92 is because I was born in 1992, and so I'm here to make an impact and change lives.
Hello, good afternoon. You people are so awesome. Yeah, because you made it, and I'm before you as me, James Waswa, one of the directors of Marifa Sasa, an educator or educationist, and a tech expert. So me and my colleague, we spice education with technology. So mention anything education somewhere, we shall give you a solution technology based. And that's our expertise. Thank you.
All right. So my name is Daniel Gilbert Gwete. I'm a team leader with Bavuka Foundation. I'm a photographer. The art of photography, which later, turned into archiving, and working with creatives, especially in the hip hop culture. I got mentored by, the legend Babaluko, and so he started to talk to me about this idea of archiving, visual archiving of what young people were doing in Uganda with music, with art. And so about now 9 or 10 years I've been, documenting what young people are doing, especially in hip hop culture, using my photography. And that made me the first UG hip hop archivist. And just like you had him, also give him, in our community, we've one of the things that is much more powerful, we've found ourselves, creating new careers, So UG even the concept of archiving in Uganda is still new. So I started to, to find out who else is doing it. There were a few photographers who had done it in the US that I started, to follow their work. And the fact that I'm the only one who was doing it, it opened so many doors. So I've found myself going to different places. In Uganda, teaching photography, basics, and also master classes, going to Nairobi, going to Democratic Republic of Congo. Congo is one of the countries that really, for me, inspired me to even do more. Because the hunger that I found with the young people there to learn and to use the art to change their lives, to tell their stories, was way different from what I was experiencing back home. See, here in Kampala, I think the young people have this attitude of this opportunity is going to come to me anyway, So you invite them to the workshop, first day, they'll turn up, 20. Third day, you have about 17. End of the week, you have 5. By the end of the workshop, you have 2. And so, as a person that gives, when you give your time and your gift to teach other people, that, you feel like you're not reaching the impact. When I went to Congo, I had a class of about 20 young people, and all of them finished the class. Like, wow, this is really different. So it's, influenced me to now to go there using my own money, as long as I will talk to the people who, there's an organization called Yole Africa. So they would provide accommodation, and then I'll tell them, I'll transport myself and I'll come and teach. Next year you find almost the class is doubling because they had you coming. And then the impact that I used to see there, I was like, okay, if young people in Uganda are not doing this, you rather, save a little bit and then, take this, out where it's needed. And then that is how I've been able to grow. And then that has opened for me so many doors to go and speak in universities in the States, speak, to go in communities, and then when you come back to Uganda, then you actually approach a university and say, I actually want to come and speak. Say, cause which, what degrees do you have? Are you a professor? And then you feel like for them they equate the experience and the knowledge that you have based on the sheet of paper that they give at the university. And then when you go to the other side, they are hungry for your experiential knowledge in the community. And so for me, that has been one of the hurdles, that I've found, especially here. And I know Laura has a little bit, because she has to go and she's juggling between this panel and also the retreat. Laura, if you can hear me, our first question is how personally, all through the companies that you work with, how you've been able to use technology to reach out to communities of young people to make sure that their level of gift is enhanced or put to another level.
Okay, thank you so much. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. Yeah, thank you for the question. So actually at Startup Africa, I think technology became one of the core elements, especially in this year of the pandemic, where our main target group are university students. Now university closed, and we had to see what to do next. So how can we now reach young people? So what we did is that we tried to incorporate our entire curriculum in a blended learning style, so that they can still get the knowledge, they can still fulfill their potential, but through the power of technology. And I think what we also learned there is that it's much more important to give individual support then just this general skilling as many people as possible, but to have more this mentorship, coaching style, and you can do that with all means. You can do that with WhatsApp even. One of my co-founders, who was in Germany, stuck in the lockdown, and still, he could continue to manage the communication and the support for our startups, and often just with WhatsApp voice messages. Some of the startups went into the deep villages, and that still was possible. So I think now, even that things are going back a bit, technology is going to be one of the key parts for us to deliver our value, to skill people, but also to guide them through coaching and mentorship. Yeah, so much from my side.
All right. I'll go to my brother, Okelo.
Yes.
Yeah, what is it that Marifa Sasa is also doing in communities? Why you guys are the young people that you interact with, to make sure that, because here at the beginning people actually thought, technology and arts are like two different things that, could not really interact. The era where we are, these things are moving simultaneously. They are actually, you literally almost cannot, do art without using technology to move, to move your art, or vice versa. So how are you guys using tech in whatever shape or form to make sure that, young people have access?
So thank you so much, Gilbert, for the question. Perhaps a little bit of context, and a brief history of Marifa Sasa and how it came into being. The idea behind Marifa Sasa was born, from a lot of common shared experiences from the, directors and the initial people that got engaged in this space of Marifa Sasa, and that's what gave birth to Marifa Sasa. So personally, I looked at my educational journey, and it was a reflection on the progress and the things I've been able to do to that point.
I think I said that so evening. I actually almost ran away. I'm a Chiga, and I'm very straight. When it takes so long, I tell you, coming to later. I actually almost went away. Now I want to talk about art, but most importantly, I think we are forgetting the most important thing today. And today, I think Crossmind has been 2 years. So I wanted to say congratulations for the amazing 2 years. Great baby steps, but that's quite some step. I think they deserve a bigger round of applause. My things are going to be very quick. I'm not the kind of academic guy, and that's why I like this craft mind and art and technical thing. I run about 3 companies. One is called Network Consult. We are a construction and consultancy firm as well. We have a fair sizable number of employees, but I was just thinking about it and I just realized this. None of my employees, I ever asked for a document called qualification. I actually don't employ anybody based on what they have studied anywhere. I employ character, attitude, and the will to work. And that's why probably I'm so close to this part of my family, which I've just discovered today. I've been seeing a few of them, but I think they're an amazing people. The other one is called South Africa Safaris. We don't do the ordinary safari. We operate within Africa, but we do luxury safaris. Luxury and largely also we do all our work, as you know now, online. The other one is called Consumer and Health Awareness Initiative. Again, this now for community and reaching out to people and stuff like that. I am particularly excited about art. I actually love art. It's only that I'm very lucky. When I was in school, I tried to do art. And whenever I tried to draw a person, it would look like a stool. So I empathetic with art. So I am trying to make sure that my kids actually pick something better, because I love art. I pick art, and I'm glad these guys have. In fact, I was just saying, I kept watching that thing on the wall, because that one I must buy. Hopefully somebody doesn't take it, because you guys are taking forever. By the time I'm done, somebody would have carried it away. So, and I used to go to Zimbabwe. Zimbabwe has amazing, I go to Zimbabwe quite often for business, but they have amazing stone works in the eastern side. And I used to carry a lot of stones from there. I have a lot of them in my house. And they would cost me an arm and a leg. Not to buy them from Zimbabwe, the Shona villages, but on the plains, because they are extremely heavy. And I got excited about the gorilla, because when I saw it, I thought it was like almost a ton heavy. And then this guy says, no, it's actually cloth and a little cement on top. And it looks like what I used to carry actually from Zimbabwe. So I said, this one I must buy, because I love tourism and I love sort of thing. Now, I wanted to talk about my topic. I'm coming to my topic. I'm not veered off at all. I'm going to talk about art. And I wanted to raise your consciousness on how you can do art as a business. As I said, I'm not your textbook guy. I live and do things that are real and that are actually happening. Art quite often is misunderstood, but I believe art is every day, our everyday life. Anyone seen the new iPhone out? It's an iPhone what? Yeah. The only reason people are paying and spending money is actually because of the guy who designed that phone. There's nothing special about it. The very best car you think you're going to drive, be it a Hyundai, be it a Range Rover, be it a Land Rover, the most important and integral part in any institution is actually the artist who designed that car before they do the software. Do you know that? Even here where we are, the arrangement of this room and how it is structured and how we sit is actually art. Art manifests in so many forms over our daily life. All of us who have a few houses or a home or an office, a way to arrange it is actually all art. Because everyone appreciates art but differently, and they don't know they live art. All architecture designs of the very best of the world, in Dubai, anywhere, it's actually art. And the best paid people are the people who design these things called architectural design. So art, in its entirety, that someone was talking about a Mac computer or an Apple, just look at it. The only thing that you actually look at before you know what is inside that machine is actually its look. How fancy, how slim, how applicable and how usable, the colors, the glow, and even the best of marketers use emotional intelligence marketing, and they use art as the best. So art is naturally something you cannot run away from. So how do you know that art can actually be a business? It's actually from that understanding, realization that art is a constant. Art is in billions of dollars globally as a business. Some of you know I watch a lot of History Channel, and I follow pickers and collectors. Some of the richest people in the world, whether royals or whatever, they invest their money in collecting art. And art manifests in so many. You have seen some people have used paint, some others have used charcoal, others have used. But no matter what type of format it is, art up to today is a huge business. If you went for the Dubai Opera and saw the auctions that happen there about art, you'd be amazed when such a piece actually attracts about $250,000. And very casually, somebody walks away with it. So it is an embodiment that we have, that we live with. Now, some of you are so lucky. I saw a young man, he told me he's in the back, A6 back, who is doing he draws with charcoal and with so much ease. So I have an uncle who is a very good, and that's why this was very exciting for me to talk about. He's a very nice artist. He's a very good artist actually. He could draw you in a few seconds. But for him, art was a way of life, and he never thought about it as a business. And as he retires, I have been telling him, you know, uncle, if you had turned your big house into just the lower ground floor, into just a simple, gallery or something where you can have a few cocktails on Saturday with friends to come around, actually could make this a living, earn you so much money. And he doesn't understand it because for him, art was just part of him. I am glad that you guys at Craftmine realized that actually you were into big business. And I'll tell you why. I was in Netherlands in Amsterdam and vacanting in January. And I had a chat with somebody who actually trades art in the European market. And it's huge business. The only thing is that you get the right connections and where to send it from. It actually even has tax exemptions. If you went to Agoa today, there is a tax exemption on African art into these markets. So literally there are a lot of platforms you can do. So how do you know that you have to do art as a business? One, the idea of starting. And I'm glad you guys have started. A lot of times in Africa, in our time, we think about ideas. Starting then is another thing. You know, Edwin draws something away, Mark draws the other, James draws the other, Cynthia will draw something nice, but they don't actually realize that it's a business. That kind of lingua you're saying, of love, we talked about, that thing brought love to me back like fresh air. You know, how do you know that now this is actually a business? It's something I can turn into business. And for me, that's the biggest challenge you have in Africa. It is also very unfortunate that quite often most of our governments or our establishments don't realize the opportunity that is in art, even when we have the youngest population in Uganda. If somebody went to National Theatre, for example, and set up one of the best incubation hubs or innovation centers for art, both in tech and real physical art, and train people, you'd be shocked how much energy of young people you absorb. Because art naturally is something that nobody, even if you need to go to school, you can actually do art and you can learn. And art also brings a lot of people together and solves a lot of issues. When you ask these artists, a lot of them, they will tell you that some of their pieces are actually communication of their inner feelings. So you capture a lot of issues through art that could actually be problematic for the youth in the long run. So instead of spending so much time in drugs and so many things to do, they will actually spend very productive time in doing something that can be creative. But then the government will have to set up hubs where you channel their art on global markets and do what we call a convention center where you sell huge art pieces. If you went to Durban today, in South Africa, they have a section where an artist can actually showcase them. And they do tons. They do tons, and you know they used to keep bringing their artwork, and it's huge money. These guys don't need any help. They have a lot of time, a lot of brain, but they also make a living out of it. So, kindly starting is my point number one. You need to realize that you actually need to start. What you've been thinking about all this time, somehow you need to start. You know, we procrastinate a lot, you keep thinking, maybe I'll try it next time. Maybe I'm not yet ready. Maybe it needs a lot of money. I have been dealing with these guys very closely, and I realized they actually were not using a lot of money. Unless Rachel did tell me the facts. But when you see what they have done, it's amazing. And that's why I want to ask all of you who are part with 1 million shillings, 500,000 shillings, please support these guys. Because what they do is so little resources, it's just amazing. Imagine if you put 50 million shillings into these guys. It's a huge thing you cannot imagine. So start, kindly start. Now when you start, how do you then move forward? Kindly, this is not showbiz, this is not going to be a family thing for you to drink about and chat about. Make sure you structure this thing into a form of business, have plans. Say the first year, you want to have started at this. Second year, you want to be able to have revenue running, you know, at least breaking even. We need to have, you know, maybe a gallery or somewhere. Or even if it wasn't a gallery, at least showcase every 3 months or quarterly somewhere so people can see your pieces. So that now people know that actually this is the form of thing you're doing. So you need to plan for this as if it's a business, and you must do it as if it's a business. No matter the relationships, no matter the affiliations, even if you are 20 of you, each one of you can have their own line of brands or products, but structure this in a business. The more you are, the better for all of you. The other thing is look for viable marketing platforms. I am glad, very fast, you have already moved very fast. When you look at their online platforms, they shared something with me and I put it on. I have a fair following, which I didn't know. I learned this week how to do what? They do what? Status. So I got something and I pushed it and it went to my status. Then I got friends from, and they're actually watching. I got one from Canada, somebody from South Africa, I have guys in Zambia, and they were all excited of saying, this is very nice, these young people. But then they would ask me things I can't even explain. But you can be sure those platforms you have, for as long as you're online. Interestingly, there's somebody in the Ministry of Tourism and Trade. They got money from World Bank. It's called SEDEP, Competitive and Enterprise Development Project. And their job is actually to promote art. So they were asking me just before I got here, who are these people? And I'm thinking, there's so much opportunity in this country, but in some wrong hands. You never know who has it. And those who have it don't know those they should be helping. So at least that I will try and help you. There is actually money in this country for innovation, especially for promotion of art. So, but all that will come if you formalize your business. That's, I'm moving to another point. After your plan, please legalize your business in simplicity. Elsewhere in the world, USA and the UK, they even have packages now during the corona situation, but you can only get some help if you are legal. If you have, even if you don't have to do tax, at least do your tax returns, have your legal entity done, have an account I can pay to, if I will pay or those things online. Somebody has to pay, because trust me, some of these pieces, you get guys from Dubai saying, I want this kind of piece, but they are not here, but they want to pay. So you must have those platforms for you, for which you can pay. Now, for me, I'm a marketer by birth. I love marketing. It's what I know how to do, and it's what I studied. Now, when you market right, marketing right means you are available, you're present. You guys have so many online platforms. There is what? Snapchat. There is what? Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and those ones. Now, some of us are never on such things. But for business, I want to encourage you to make sure that you are on these platforms, because there is no any other way people are going to see you. But also, as you market, I've gone through the array of your products, and I want to take it to another point now. When you have the right marketing platforms, the right product, how do you then segment your product to the right market? Somebody just asked me a question from UB and I said, do you know Ugandans don't love art? And I said, no. Everyone loves art. They only don't know they actually live art. Each one of you, even in our old days, our grandmas, did you see those chairs they used to sit on? There was always something they put on top, like a mat, a cover on the chair. These have so many colors, especially now you're going for Christmas, white, pink, that kind of thing. These are all art. Art is an embodiment of everybody's life. It's not true. If you go to northern Uganda and you study the culture within a Joli or their rule, or come to Itesots and see their dance and folk, that's all art. It's not true that people don't like art or can't afford it. The issue is how, of course, they talked about it. Our education system is completely disconnected from the reality. Why you study Vasco da Gama, why you walk everywhere, and the guys who discovered, can you imagine we studied the guy who discovered the knife, and that took us to class. And we spent so much time carrying books, and we studied this kind of shit. and nobody is sorry, nobody wants to take a blame for this. It's very annoying. Everything I studied, there's nothing I use today in my daily life. Apart from marketing, which I studied under the Diageo International, which is a United Kingdom company, and at university maybe, a little bit. Why I discovered so many things of who studied in Daura. In fact, and we focused on Daura and Chintu. Maybe we would have heard this guy saying from, what's his name? Babalo. Maybe we would have helped ourselves much more with better solutions. Now, it has to be deliberate that our people are taught about these values for them to make sense out of them. And if people love some of those photos, if you walk through them, they talk a lot. You can even create a story with the photos, you know, of where we have come from, where we are, and the challenges that we have. And people will love art. So what's your opportunity as a professional? How do you then segment our product to the people that so they can afford it? I found something out today that I like, about 25,000 shillings. It's a very nice hat. So I don't know whether they are hats, I didn't see. But it's beautiful. A lot of people can afford such things. So if you have a piece of 1 million shillings, kindly have something over 100,000, and I have seen it, so that a parent can afford a postcard or a gift for their kid who has a birthday. That would be nice in somebody's daughter's bedroom, and they probably, but also kindly make sure that your photos have a story behind them. I have done a big art myself, and most times people pick, they want to take, and I loved it when somebody was taking us around. Nobody buys a photo without a story. Forget about it. When they see this, art is an embodiment of so many things. These are two happy kids. They probably have got their excitement on Sunday, that they have given them a bottle of soda. These are African kids. But in this picture, just like they say, a picture says a million words actually. These kids show you that they are clean, they are happy, probably they are protected, they are in an environment that is secure, there is somebody who provides for them. And they are happy to be siblings. You can write anything about them. On the other side is a picture of a sad guy who probably is not aware of what tomorrow holds. He's in Africa probably, the situation is a mess, there are no jobs, the government has not responded positively to issues. He probably even has a heartbreak from a girlfriend. This guy has issues. This guy has issues, or probably nobody loves him. Okay? And that's what I'm saying. People want to buy. For the collectors I know, the guys that have the money, they want to buy the story. So make sure that I am taking that Gorilla because for me, I am in tourism, and that's fantastic for me. Even if I use it for all my marketing experiments, anybody I got show them this is the king of our jungles down south. So it's an amazing piece. So every piece you must give it a story. And now when you're going to sell your pieces, if you are lucky and you get a platform, and I'm going to try and help you when I'm going out to my other services, but because it's very, very costly. Because hiring is expensive. I wish you would tell the person with focus, do them slowly. When you're having a small space in Dubai, like for the Dubai Expo, which they cancelled, space is very expensive. It's just a little space to come, take about $10,000. But what I am saying is that where there's a way, there's always a way. And if you're online, still you find partners with whom you can actually trade with. So give your products, segment them different prices, so they are affordable by different stratas of clientele, but also give them a lineage of history so that people can actually understand why they are buying your art. The other one that is clearly most importantly is making sure that you have a sustainability plan. Just like you have seen, we are here all of a sudden, COVID has visited us, whoever brought this thing to us, I don't know, but the effect is real. So you must have a sustainability plan for these things, but also be innovative and creative every year. If you have had something like this, I have given you some few ideas. Let me tell you, if you want to know that art is big business, let us start planning now for your next year's anniversary. You realize that art is actually so much big business. There are guys who would want to spend an entire day. In tourism now, museum and monuments have overtaken normal routine, nature and wildlife tourism. People moving to a museum, they don't even need a guide. They now have recorded guidance, and guys are just looking for 2 days. The guy just wants to come around, look at art, understand where people have come from, community life, and that's all. So it's a huge, huge business. You must make sure it's sustainable. How you choose that to be is that you're creative every other day. You change your linkages, you change your partners, but also make art a part and parcel of your integral charity work. Because then it raises resources that you actually require to keep sustainable and to keep. And sustainability means a number of things. One, we have the eco-sustainability, that you are sensitive to the environment and the people around you as a community, just like Babaluku said, but also you use things within your communities that give back to the community that you come from. So for me, the other issues are all basic, a bit academic. If you have the right market, the right products, legalize your business, get for it on the right platforms for you to market it, make sure it's run as a business entity, not as a philanthropic arrangement, then surely it should be there. That said and done, I believe that's what can be done for you to run art as a business. Ladies and gentlemen, I don't want to waste a lot of your time. It's already a long day. I want to thank you so much, and I want to plead with you that even if it is for 50,000 or 10,000, just pick whatever you can from these guys and walk away with it. so that you are able to see them next year here. They do so much other things that you may actually associate with, especially with community for youth engagement and transformation. For as long as we do not help the youth find their right placement in society, there is one way that is sure: they will find their way into our houses. I can assure you, whenever you meet anybody who does not understand that their success should impact directly onto the youth. Every time you're entering your house, the guys you meet walking by and they're standing and saying, here's a nice car. For as long as they do not find meaningful sense into their livelihoods, they'll come to your dining table and share the food with you by force. And if you're not very lucky, they'll enter the bedroom. Absolutely.
Thank you very much, Mr. Edwin. We appreciate you very much. One of the most powerful things is if you can plan for the youth.
Then you sell the outputs. So now I've turned from an investment advisor to a salesman. And as an auctioneer, I need this piece to be off the shelf as a way of supporting Craft Mind's continued work. But also, it's a way of showing commitment towards the creative and performing arts. So I hope everybody is seeing this piece. Are we able to see everyone, even those that side? Are we seeing? You know, when I'm doing a sales, I normally want to start with those people who seem to be behind the walls, because they normally have the money, but they hide behind the walls until you go and find them. So even if you're behind there, at a certain point, if I really need, if this goes, I may choose to even get another piece. But this one has to go. So who is in with me? We are starting now. Minimum going price. Who wants to guess? Who wants to take a huge, is it a guess or a reality? Or you're saying, I'm getting 5 million, I'm taking it, and we are closed, and we are done with this business. Yes. Where is the other mic? The mic? No, you can have this mic.
Thank you so much, Doctor.
Yes.
I thought that I was setting my own price. I thought that I should set my own price.
You start with the minimum.
In my capacity, I would start from 200,000, Doctor.
In the capacity of the picture, that is your capacity.
Yes, in my capacity.
And you're in the arts, right?
Mm.
Okay, you say 200. Ladies and gentlemen, your name, sir?
My name is Businja Nurudin.
Businja.
Eko.
Businja. Okay, Businja says, because the other name is, so I don't bite my tongue.
Nurdin.
Nurdin. Nurdin. Okay, I will use Businja because, yeah, Businja. So Businja says 200. You guys are in the creative arts. What would be the value of this? Right now, his 200 is very valid. Was that, you say 200,000?
Yes.
Pardon?
Yes, 200,000 Ugandan money, not US dollars.
Ugandan money. Okay. Yeah, because I needed to be clear that if 200,000 USD or euros, then that would be a benchmark to that. So he's saying 200,000 Uganda shillings. So who else wants to tag it above that? We need a tag above that.
Yes, please.
We need a tag above that. And I told you that the process is, I'm co-founder, this is how we are going to do it. That the salesman and investor in me is that it is quite aggressive. When everyone goes quiet, I set a tag and come to you and you accept that tag. And you're the other one I set for the higher tags. Agreed?
Yes.
It's at 200 now. 200, right? Mr. from Busia here. Me, I'm setting it. How far can I go beyond that? 200,000. And it is yours. 300? Mr. Elias. Linus. Guys have complex names. What is the other name? Wamanya. Okay. Linus, Wamanya. Then okay, Linus, right now, where is Businje? Businje, the piece is almost gone, huh? Because it has stepped up. So it's in the hands of somebody else. Technically, in an auction market, what I would do, I would get you 200 and first put it on the side. Somebody has stepped it up, so your 200 goes into the pot. Guys, that's how the auction market works, isn't it? Yeah? So, I would, if somebody steps up, I take the 200,000, I put it in the pot, and then the 300,000, we come to it until we get to the price, which is last. By a show of hands, should we take that version? Should I go that way? Okay, we're going by that version. Businje, you reclaim the piece. It is at 300,000. Linus, say 300,000. Yours is 300,000. Where is my friend who was seated here? I normally meet them on the plane when I go to their places. Where is it? Sir? Yes. Very welcome. Just come back to your seat. You're there? Where is the mic? Where is the mic? Name and price tag. Joseph is at 400,000. Linus, from Businje to Linus to Joseph at 400,000. We're at 400,000 right now. Anyone like 400,000 is, you guys, you know what? This is support to the community, right? The community of arts. Yeah? I think I'm one person who negotiates. I will negotiate and negotiate until whatever you were selling at 1M, I will take it and you just get a profit of 1% because of the negotiation. But for right now, it is about one, buying value and also supporting the community, the arts fraternity at 400,000. And time is clicking. We have exactly 10 minutes to close this, but I need it above, okay, it's at 400. Who says that, you know what, 600, for me I'm good to go. Oh, 600 is quite low, it's low, right? Can you say, I don't want to dictate. Who says, somebody is talking here. Did somebody say something? You know, at this point, my ears are very alert.
I can raise money for the person that is buying it at 400. I'll put 10,000 for the person that is buying it at.
Okay, Susan, right? Susan is suggesting, you know, like we came in here and that gate was closed, so you had to turn and then pass this side, rotate, and then end up here. Yet the other one could have been a shorter path. So Susan has suggested another path. That since it's at 400, that I need to get it. You say that we raise 200,000 to get it to what? To 600. So you have suggested that we raise 200,000, add it to the 400,000, then get it for him. Who takes it then?
But if someone has the money, can still.
Right now the painting is at 400.
Yeah.
What we're going to do is we're going to top up that painting. He has it at 400, but we can still top it up and we can make as much as we can. But as now we're trying to hit a target of 200, so that the painting is sold at him or to him, or anyone who can do it, we sell off the painting at 600. Susan starts it off at 10,000.
Okay, Joseph.
Yeah, starts at
Yes,
20,000.
Joseph, right?
I top up with 20,000.
Yeah, Joseph, is that agreeable to you? What they're saying is you have staked 400,000, which means that it is yours now. So somebody suggested that no, 400 is still on the low. Let's up it to 600 and collect the 200 and hand it over to Joseph to top up his 400. Then he takes it for 600. You get it now?
So then other people are going to be paying money for...
No, you take the painting. Yeah. Yeah, so Joseph, you have the 400,000. The art piece right now is standing at 600,000 with a contribution from everyone who is here, and then you take the art piece. Is that a fair deal? That's okay. So at 400, they contribute for you the 200,000, so it goes to 600,000, and you have the art piece. Yeah, but if somebody else comes and says that, guys, no, 650, contribute for me 200, I'm putting 450. Or somebody would say that, you guys, I'm putting it at 500, because we've committed the 200. So whoever raises the bar from 400 to 500 means that it goes to 700. But in the meantime, Susan, you start collecting. This is 10,000. 10,000. You just go to every table and collect, and just alert me that now we have reached 200. Yeah. Any amount, just collect. Yeah. Don't you think that it would be in order, Susan, just in order, if you had somebody going with you with a piece of paper, noting down the name, email, and phone number of the person who has contributed, because we need a thank you to them. Somebody should take down the names, and we need to send them a message of thank you, because they are contributing, but also it's a sign that they are believing in the arts. Okay. Then come to this table. This table already had, it's about 300, so they should be able to raise maybe the balance plus. They have the money here. Yeah. This is the guy. Yeah. This is the table. This is the guy, the girl. Okay. So that let's collect whatever the balance is. They are going to top it up. That one is a commitment. Okay. Just get from that side. Any amount. Just get any amount. Contribute. Yeah, any. You know, it's like 2,000, 10,000, 5,000, 20, 50,000, and then you whisper to me how much you collect and inform them the deficit. So you whisper to me. So contributing to the arts. And Joseph should be coming closer to receive his art piece. I don't know whether we need an autograph sign signature. Wesley. Oh, where is Wesley? Wesley, right?
No.
Wesley, you need to come closer, and Joseph also, because we are going to do an official handover. It seems like chances are it's going to Joseph. That's how I see it. Okay, so sorry that this auction came in at the end of the program. We should have started with it when people were still hyped. Yeah, we should have started with it. That most people have left. This piece to me should have gone for something like 3 million, honestly. It's going for 600, but yeah. I will leave it at that. We should have started with this. That's a learning for next time. We start by auctioning. Raise the money, 3M. This piece, if you found it in a gallery, this one, even 3 million, just 3 million is what? About $700? Yeah? Roughly $700? Yeah, about $800. This in an art gallery, they will tell you something like $1,500, $2,000. So, Joseph is getting, but anyway, he heightened the bar, which is already good. Yeah, he could do a resale for it. That's the choice. Are the collections over out there? We need to close. Are the collections? Any other collections? Collections. Collections. Okay. Linus. Our deficit is about 150,000. The balance from here, this table is in, and also reconcile with Joseph. And somebody has to take on the mic.
Thank you so much, sir. Can I have all the craft mind members to come in front? If you know about craft mind, what's up? Mr. Linus, we are asking, since you wanted to go home with a portrait or sorry, an art piece, can we get you an alternative? We want you to go with something. Should we get you something in your range? It's a lot of money. You can do something.
Yeah, hello everyone. I'm Sharif, and I'd like first of all to say thanks to the craft my brother here, Joseph. Sorry if you are leaving. He just got himself one of the paintings, and it seems he's the only person that is going to walk home with something. Now, may I ask you nationality, Joseph? South Africa. I find that a bit provocative. I'm actually Ugandan, and we can't have one of our visitors walking and take something away with him, and none of us is taking something. So I found this really interesting, and I wanted to take it with me. Unfortunately, it is tagged at 500,000, Now, I do not have the full amount. I have only 200,000 on me. I request that, just like you helped out Joseph, I believe we still have the same heart of wanting to help out. I request to be helped out so that I can walk out with something as well.
We have Ugandans.
Ugandans only, if we have Ugandans. Well, of course, if someone else has the money, if someone can top up the balance, then I'll be willing to give it up. I contribute 200,000 for someone else.
All Crossline members, please cut the cake and other discussions will go on and as people are networking and painting.
Cake lovers, where are you?
It's a prop minor too. Yes. Yes. Yeah. Right there, Georgia. Watandika mukolo kusembalala. Tuko tusemba Kampala. Yenu bakola kujja twetongola. Balaba abaana bakoze ebyakabi. Byonna byonna birungi bonna bafaanana bulungi. Byonna byonna bikola byonna byakubi mwana. Njagala mukole ku bintu bino. It's not easy to start something like this. Naye watandika mukolo natuwawo master class. Nekyaba kibuka okukola ne mu class. Njagala oleke ebintu bino mu ngeri yonna gy'okola. Batandikawo emirimu gy'obwongo nga twagala abavubuka bakole ebintu by'omubwongo n'ebyemikono basobole okwebeza wamu enensi muganda wange ebyokulya kujasita amakoola kolampola tutandika naye biiti evaamu nze nsigala atambula n'abagezi mu mpeeko. Yes. Yes. Mwebale kujja. Bakulaba nakisa. Akazinda lukaakano. Change begins with us. Nakisa. Zewe. Yo.
I might with the braces, I got so much
that